I don't think so.
Okay. Almost some Kristen, aren't we? Yes.
All right. For the newbies, you are on YouTube. We're streaming live to that, so try to keep the F-bombs down, I guess.
This is gonna be a fun.
We can minimize that if you want. Usually Hannah's on there, so we all look at her prompt, but I don't know where she's at this evening, but. Okay. Who's the VP? We don't have any VP.
We don't have one, but first of all, before we get started, I would like to welcome the Arts Council and thank them for being here. They work closely with landmarks since some of their art projects would be in historic areas, and also their music. Their wings are involved, and we usually have music downtown, and we thought they could help us out with that. They're already having quite a successful event each Monday at the library. I'll let them speak about that. I also wanted to welcome the two new members. We really appreciate you taking the time to devote to your community. Back to you.
You want to lead the meeting since we don't have a chair, I guess?
Sure. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do we need to call Anna and see? I can if you want. Because I'm sure she wants to be in under old business.
Where she?
Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at the minutes in your packet. If there are no additions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to accept as distributed.
Second.
You will make the motion.
I'll make the motion. sorry.
Okay. That was my line. Yeah.
It's been moved to second. Any discussion?
Hey, Anna, are you coming to the meeting or zooming in?
I'm so sorry, I have a fire in my kitchen I just dealt with, so I need a minute. Is the Zoom up and running?
It's up and running, honey.
Yes, give me just like another minute, just to make sure my oven doesn't like burn down, and I will call you ready. Okay?
We'll be hoping. I'll join when you can.
Sorry.
Did you find it with fire?
I mean.
She said her oven was on fire.
Oh, I thought she was saying for the minutes.
Thanks, you can be excused.
That's fine.
Next, the treasurer's report, it lists a balance of $7,215.76. It looks like there was no activity for the month of. Well, this is December through January.
Yes, that's the
24th.
newest I have.
Okay.
I'll just make mention that, especially for your newbies, you guys have this is a separate fund, I guess, HLC account that you kind of manage yourselves. We do allocate monies in the general fund for HLC as well. The HLC this year had, I think, $10,000. It probably hasn't been touched. We'll probably end up stealing some of that to throw towards some of these other events. So we'll do a budget revision and take some of that money away and put it towards like Parks and Rec and maybe beautification. Didn't know what we need to
I'm
do.
on money. I always on money.
Been doing some different things. And we just kind of use it as earmarks. We do have the budget is getting, will be passed next month. And so if you do have, once you figure out who your officers are tonight, if you have any kind of budget requests, that's the time to get those in by the end of this month to the finance manager, and we'll try to incorporate those requests into our budget that we're going to pass. So that will be that general fund side of things again. But that, I just want to make mention of that those funds they're available. And the reason there's so much, I think this year is we anticipate there might be some grants and things like that we applied for. But with some of the, and moving on, and you do this a year in advance or half a year in advance, so maybe not quite all the activity happened that we anticipated, but so I did want to mention that there. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move on to the Culture Center update.
Okay, well, the Weston Cultural Center, against we have some new folks, is the Columbia Club. That's what we've termed the cultural center that we're trying to develop that into this kind of a multi-purpose space. Anna, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry. I was in the middle of trying not to burn my house down.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I don't think we can hear you very well.
No.
Try it one more time for me, Anna.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was trying not to burn my house down.
Well, we're glad it didn't.
Well, there's still a little bit of a flame in my oven, but I think it's going to go out. We'll see. I'm just keeping the door closed. We're good.
That's how I operate my pellet stove at my house when I'm leaving. That's it. It'll burn itself out.
Anyway, I apologize for being late. Did you guys start the agenda?
We did, and Nate was just beginning to provide an update on the cultural center.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give some background. So the cultural center, the city acquired this property. It was abandoned essentially. We've got it from the property owner. We've put a roof on the place. We've done some facade work on the front of it. It doesn't look like it, but we've done a little bit of work there. And so we are in the process right now, and that's a little bit later on the agenda of, we've advertised for some architectural services to use a planning grant that we have to use by the end of end of June, sometime in there. So it's gonna be a real tight race, and we want this group to have some input on that, and frankly, I think this group probably needs to take the reins of the project if we can get that out of historic landmarks, because we've envisioned this place being a facility that would be managed by some entity, not being the city manager or whatever long term. And Arts Council, I think you guys have a seat at that table, and if you guys are up and functioning, we will try to do that. And we've got Laura Anderson upstairs, she's kind of working towards, I think, being our Parks and Rec person, maybe long term. And so that may be a person we've envisioned having. If you've never been in the building, it's a big wide open old church cathedral essentially. Just has a wooden floor on the top floor, real big ceilings, all that good stuff. And then on the basement level, we were kind of thinking we try to stick some office space and maybe even an area for historic landmarks to have a display or something of that nature that be a part of that facility. And it's one of the oldest buildings in Weston. So it is kind of a historic landmark. Probably won't look like one when we get done with it in the sense of being real historic looking. We're just gonna try to make it look decent and clean it up because it's been changed so much over the years. But that's been the real challenge so far. So all of you guys be in the room and come at the right time, because this will start getting exciting, I think, try to move forward. Anna applied for a congressional earmark. So that was the big, we don't really have the funds long-term to repair it, but she did apply for a congressional earmark, and much to her credit, she was successful, but we're still waiting on Congress to pass the budget in order to get access to funds. And we hope that's still going to happen. I don't know. I mean, Congress has gone back.
I heard that I did get an update that they said that they anticipate it'll be next month. I have heard nothing else since that communication last week. So have you guys heard anything on the earmarks?
No.
I read this morning, Anna, they were saying they've got to have something in place by the 29th where the government's going to go into shutdown because we don't have a budget passed. So they're trying to figure, there's a whole lot of politics going on there, where the speaker, they think if he does a certain thing, he might get voted out and then we won't have a speaker of the house. So it's just a big mess. But yeah, I think the real question is it going to make it in the final budget? And that's, I think, still up in the air a little bit, but all of our senatorial representatives and all that stuff have done, I think, all they can do to make sure it is at this point. But
Yep. So my update came from Capito's office. We got approved from Manchin and Capito's office for it. So they both put it in as earmarked. So I kind of get updates from both of them. I haven't heard anything from Manchin's for a while, but Capito's office told me that they're hoping by next month we'll have those into the budget. Now, I don't know where they're getting that information. So that's all I know.
I need with Manchin's office. I owe her an email, so I'll try to email her tomorrow and mention that too. Let you guys know.
With Wendy?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and just see if there's any update. That would be good.
you know.
With that being said, we do, is now okay to talk about the grant that we need the architect grant, or not really?
We got that down at new business, so.
Okay, okay,
About that.
okay,
Are we ready to move on?
I
to
think so at this point.
Okay, facade grant update.
Council approved.
so
What?
what happened, Sherry, at the meeting?
The council approved another 25,000 for the facade grant. They were very pleased with our progress. We to date have, I believe, 5 projects completed and turned in.
County.
Did they put any parameters on dates or times or anything like that with the new facade grant with the 25K, or just the same 6-month rolling project? Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear us now, Anna? Anna?
She's in the kitchen.
The fire did you?
I reignited.
Turn that off.
Hey, soda.
Sure, have a tentative timeline for when you wanna push out the application. Second phase and what a deadline might look like.
Can we get that done in sometime in March and get them out? You think? As we get them out in March and how long was it? Ryan, do you remember how long we gave people to apply? Was it?
Oh, boy.
I'll have to look and see what we had, because I think it was what, was it 2 weeks? Or was it more? 4?
I thought it was more.
Can you hear us, Anna?
Remember that, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yes, I can hear you now. I don't know what was going on. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, there's been something weird with the phones all day. I don't know. You guys just went quiet and I couldn't hear anything, so. My question to Sherry was, did they put any parameters on that 25K? Was it the same 6-month rolling, or what was the parameters, or did they not lay any out?
No parameters, so it's up to our
Okay.
discretion. However, what I was saying was that we should probably get that rolling fairly soon, so the folks who are successful in landing the grants can get on the contractors list for this summer.
Can we set a subcommittee meeting for that one so that we can work on that project specifically? Because I think we need to make a few updates to our application after some stuff that we learned, and I think we also need to make some updates to our rubric.
Yes, we can do that. And also remember we had talked that some very good projects were kicked because of incomplete applications. However, the
Yes.
success of that was that people who had never written grants before applied. So I would like to have that town hall meeting where we encourage everyone to come. I'd like pretty much for all hands on deck. So everyone who wants to apply leaves with a completed application. All they have to do is to speak with their contractor and then turn their applications in.
Okay. Do we have an idea on when you want to do that?
Sooner the better, it's up to you guys. I'll make time.
Okay, so here's what I recommend then. I think we need to get that subcommittee meeting or a meeting scheduled where we can review the application and the rubric and make sure that it's solid, our dates are defined, and that we can finalize that application and have the city give us the seal of approval that the application looks sufficient. So as soon as we can set that meeting, I think we should just hold that so that we can review those documents and see what needs to be corrected, changed, give it to the city so that you have the correct application going out to the public. And then also, I guess when we come up with those dates, we can also work on that, updating that document that we used for kind of marketing. We got to update the dates and stuff on that.
Do you want to try to do that next week?
What day?
Anytime,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
anytime, Anna, anytime. Brian? your
Okay,
schedule
well,
is-
whatever works with you guys. I can probably make whatever work. Just let me know what you guys are thinking.
Next Thursday, good for you?
Yes, what time?
Brian says 6.
Are you
Works
going
best.
to
Six.
meet here?
6 p.m. works.
Can we meet at Amber Arts?
We have tree commission, but Tuesday should be done.
Yes,
You want?
yes, that's fine.
Is there another day you can do that week?
Boy,
Cause I think we're probably gonna need to meet about these architectural firms, like if we need to interview them or anything, it'd be nice to do it all the same night. You're good,
landmarks, you mean?
yeah. And that Thursday night is auditor training
Oh,
for me.
okay.
How about Wednesday?
That works for you, Sherry?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Wednesday
So
work for you?
Wednesday at 6 o'clock? Yeah, Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And then before then, everybody try to take a look at those documents and have your edits ready so that we can get through them quickly so that we don't have to spend the whole time, reading through it together.
Okay, can we have those documents printed out?
Yes.
Thank you.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I'm
was
making
ask-
faces at Sherry.
Yeah,
Judy's printing the documents out for members. And
who,
And I'll email you.
Okay.
who all wants to be on the subcommittee, Becca?
I
That's a volunteer spirit.
Yeah.
Girl.
just heard her voice,
You're certainly welcome to come and.
Oh, man.
I don't know you well enough to throw you under the bus, but next time.
That's gonna be.
Here or at Ember Arts, did you just throw out a bird?
Here, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, he doesn't wait, he just jumps in, he knows it's coming.
With the culture or the facade grant, we have some people who haven't completed their grants. yet,
Yes.
Right? Do we think that they're all gonna complete them? I mean, I guess we hope for it, but if we don't have those, if they get to the end of it and they say, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
I think we have one that's not gonna be able to.
Okay. Do we want to just roll those into this,
I mean,
this
yes.
program?
I think it's pretty unfair if somebody couldn't complete their project for whatever reason. And they're like, okay, I'm out. That was already allocated for the facade grant, and that kicks somebody else's project out, Huh?
We can't have that.
No,
So I think before you guys get into reviewing the applications, we wanna make sure you know how many dollars you have. If the people aren't gonna do it, we need to make it for the
true.
relationship. Okay.
Is that a Marty thing? Probably, maybe.
You're probably the one standing holding the bag.
Yeah, I know.
We'll figure it out. Between him and I, we'll work through it with those folks and get a termination made.
Okay, so I guess we're moving on to election of officers. Xana still with us?
Crickets. I hear crickets. I'm one of the crickets.
I figured as much.
Your oven's okay.
I don't know. The oven, I don't know. My daughter's in there. The house hasn't burned down yet, so we'll see what happens. But does anybody, okay, so the positions, oh, go ahead, Nate. What were you saying?
Now, can I speak for you, I guess, and feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but I had a conversation with Anna, and I think her being in Maine should exclude her from being any officer moving forward. and I've extended I want her to continue to work with us and all that stuff, but I think that's, unless she decides she wants to take my offer and move back, I think she probably needs to just become a member or come alongside you, so I think you need to find.
Not moving back. Sorry, Nate.
I know, I'm trying, but my fingers are still crossed.
I mean, I think it's definitely time. I mean, I've been in this position and VP back and forth for this last several years. I mean, I think it's time if we can get somebody else willing to do this role. It's ideal anyway. I mean, there's a reason that officers change hands, you know.
And Kristen is the current VP. Is she still with us?
Yes, she's still.
I believe she is, but I don't think she wants an officer role, correct?
New commitment, take care of them.
That's what I.
So that's what I said, like, new commitments.
I don't know that. VP as VP, she might be okay with me. As long as we had a president who's in this. Yeah. Local.
Brian's in this camp.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the other.
No, it's still loose.
Brian and Sherry are the next long-term members.
We are.
Sherry, I don't think can be because she's with her being on council, that makes it impossible that makes it very hard. I don't know. I mean, that's more of a Nate question, but I think that would make it very difficult. She can't be our representative to council and be our president, so.
Which is what I'm doing now, as the representative. to
Yeah.
them. And I see that.
Yep.
Oh.
I
See it in both. Can't go get both.
don't know about being president.
Let me see if I
Well, and
can
I was
find-
busy burning down my kitchen, so I don't even know who's present today, so I'm sorry. I only know who I've heard speak, so.
Okay, so.
Take care of that.
With us, we have Mayor Harrison and Brian is here. Becca Young, one of our new members. We have Audrey.
Hi, Becca.
And a new member. We also have a couple members of the Arts Council, Jill and Spring.
Anna.
Yes,
Hey, guys.
and I don't think you were here when I explained that I had invited them when I attended the Arts Council meeting. Because they would like to work very closely with us. They have, of course, their projects will fall within the historic area oftentimes. And also they wanted to be active with our music that we had downtown.
Perfect. Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I apologize. I missed the beginning of the meeting, so sorry you had to recount that for me, but I'm struggling knowing who all is there. But I mean, is anybody else that's on the HLC interested in running for an office position? Because we need to fill the roles.
Yeah, we do.
Don't everybody jump at once, guys. Come on.
How many members do we have that aren't here? This it?
Kristen.
Besides Kristen?
Okay, so for as far as the president role goes, I mean, basically you run the meetings and just so that you guys that are not familiar, technically it would be me running the meeting. It's very difficult when I'm on Zoom and I'm hard to hear, and it's hard to hear sometimes what you guys are saying, but also a lot of times it's signing of documents, signing of the minutes, it's a lot of signing of papers and stuff and just overseeing the overall agenda and what's going on. Typically, we also have a VP who helps with that. And then a secretary would take minutes and kind of do the agenda and that type of stuff. So, I mean, the delegation of president is more running the meetings and stuff like that. So it's not as scary as it sounds. We all have a lot of hats to wear here, but I don't necessarily think that the president has to do everything. And, we really need to get to a point where this group is, everybody does stuff. So it's not one person. And that's what we're striving to do.
And I think we could use some more members too.
Well, right now, I think you have 5 by the bylaw or the
Yeah.
ordinance I'm looking at.
Yep.
Well,
You guys have been wanting to increase it and it doesn't get on the,
agenda.
yeah.
And
It's been.
We're gonna
a year,
have
so-
we're in the same boat.
We have created an animal that is bigger than 5 people here. with the projects that we're taking on. You know,
hmm
you know,
And you have people who are out of town, who are unavailable,
Right.
other, you know, it just, you have to have, but no. And you don't get volunteers just from the community, so stuff, but
Right.
your boards have. to.
right.
That's why we went from 7 to 11.
Which makes it more difficult to get a quorum, but you guys are not seeming to have a problem getting a quorum.
We've never had a problem with that. I mean, even if 7 people, we always manage to at least have 4 people show, you know, for stuff, but now we're up to 7, you know, we've got this.
Yeah, we've got a membership committee that we can really focus on volunteers that can help us carry the weight. So it doesn't burden the board members out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
So I'm sure we're going to share that with Marifor and everybody that we can volunteer.
No. Okay, Becca has been nominated as president.
I couldn't hear you. What did you say, Kim?
I said that Becca has been nominated by Brian as president.
I'll second.
Did she run out of the room screaming?
You're scaring me. She's secretary. Hey, we gotta move this meeting along. You okay with that?
I mean, I'm okay with whatever. What I'm not okay with, and I just need for you to say this, is because this is my first meeting. I'm aware of you guys from working at the paper, so I mean, I don't wanna like come in like, you know. I can't think of a nice dictator. You know, I mean, if you're good with that, since it's my first meeting, I don't mind. Like.
I think we're all good with it. How about you?
All right, except for Judy, who I'm afraid will never speak to me again, but.
Okay, and it looks like the offices that were to elect, according to what Nate read, was the chair or president and secretary. So do you think it'd be okay to let Kristen continue? Because she was doing that.
I think that's where she had me, correct me if I'm wrong, is that where she had the problem? She didn't want to be holding office? No.
Yeah, she said she doesn't want to hold an office. She just wants to be a member if possible.
Yeah, but I would be okay because I mean, she does a wonderful job, but with her new responsibilities, it's difficult for her.
Well, Judy's here to do minutes, so.
I think minutes are the biggest issue, is her having to do the minutes. But I mean,
Let's see how you are. I will find you a secretary.
Yes.
I usually come and I've offered if Judy can't be here. So if we could just have someone in name only. Brian, would you like to nominate Brian as secretary?
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
That drives a Swift bus. Wow. I'll second
Okay, is there a motion to accept the current slate of officers as presented?
I move to approve.
Audrey?
There you go.
All in favor, say aye.
Give you a raise. I'll bring the beer.
So good to be.
Wonderful. Okay, next, newsletter and year-ending report.
okay, so I have I've been really sick. I've had COVID for the past couple of weeks, so I have an extension till the end of the month for the end of year. There was no changes to the quarterly, so I'm guessing we can just go ahead and upload that to the website. I should have you guys the year-end report probably this week, like this weekend. I just literally have been doing nothing. So I've been sick. So I will get it done and we will get it submitted. But I do have, in speaking to them, this is outside of that, I did get email back from them in addition to giving us an extension to the end of the month. But I got a email back to them as far as setting up the meeting for the historic helping people do the historic tax credits. So we just need to pick a date and a couple dates that work for us and get back to them. And she would be more than happy to come have a public meeting to help people. So I know that those kind of are two separate topics, but we kind of sort of ran them together at our last meeting. So I said that I would ask them if they could come up and hold that public meeting, and she said yes. So we just need to come up with dates.
Are we looking at March or April?
She didn't, I mean, we're looking at whatever you guys want to do. She said, come up with a couple of dates that seem like good dates and figure out a place where we can have the public meeting. I don't know if maybe we need to reach out to the coffee house or somebody who would be willing to let us have that meeting, or where you guys are thinking might be a good place to do that. But basically it'd be anybody who's interested in the community who wants to come get information or help applying for the historic tax credits for their homes.
How about Tuesday, the 16th or Tuesday, the 23rd of April?
16th, and what was the second date? I'm sorry.
23rd.
23rd. Okay. Yep. I will ask her about both of those. Yeah, I will ask her about both of those dates. And then what time would we be shooting for? Like 6 o'clock?
Yes.
6 p.m. And what venue would we be hoping for? Or is that to be determined?
That would
Coffee
be our
house is
first
fine.
choice, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's stick with that. Yeah.
Hold the date again, sorry.
16 or 23.
16th and the 23rd. So I will email her back and give her those dates and see if either one of those work, and let you guys know right away. But yeah, I'll get you guys a copy of the year-end report, hopefully that by tomorrow or this weekend, so that you guys can review it, and then we'll get it sent out to them, and then we can get both of those posted to the website.
And that's in March or April.
April.
Okay, next, consideration of architectural design firms.
Did we bring those with us? Okay, so we've received two proposals, one from the Omni Associates and one from Military. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong. We're operating under what's called the 5G process. And so we've got to review people's qualifications. I think at that point we shortlist, which of course our list is already very short with two folks. And I think we have to decide, is there a requirement to interview?
I thought so. Yes, there is, because there's a specification sheet you have to.
Okay. So we'll have to interview these folks, and then and at that point we will select who we will prioritize, who we think is our number one pick and our number two pick. Then I think we enter into financial negotiations at that point with them, determine the scope of the project for the most part. And then if that doesn't work out, we'll move to number two. So I wanted to pass out these requests for proposals tonight to you. I think I've got 5 copies, so we'll have to share one, and I'll keep one here. I can even scan them in and email them to y'all.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be the thing.
Well, you do it.
As secretary, you need to learn everything.
That's right.
Nate, do you have when we have to spend that grant money by? It's coming up fast.
Yes,
Do you know
it's
what that
June.
deadline is?
June, I think.
It's June?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
it's gotta be
We
quick.
need to get that done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's why next week, right, we're meeting to talk about the facade grant. We said that earlier. I'd like to be able to schedule these guys to come in and interview them really quickly, so we can prioritize who we want to try to negotiate and get those folks locked in. And sorry this is taking so long. We drug our feet trying to hope to, if there was any synergy between this and the earmark, we wanted to use that together, but at this point, we just need to move forward. And then we had a hard time getting applicants. And so we had to extend this a couple times to be able to get people to consider. So that's that. So here's.
On the next city council agenda, we need to put additional members for HLC.
Okay.
Yes. Judy was out of the room, discuss that. And we need more people.
And what we're trying to accomplish with this project or this grant is I think if it goes well, Anna, we're gonna be able to select these folks. Do our planning grant, which is basically laying out the facility and also working on that front entrance. We want to be able to plan that right. And then I think we will take, as long as the funding package will allow us, we will have those guys engaged already and just segue that engineering architectural firm into the full works of what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's where we were
Yep.
really struggling. We wanted to see what the parameters that were before we entered into this, but that's our goal.
Right.
So we have, if the earmark comes through like we think we've got, I think 750,000, is that what the number is?
Well, we haven't been given anything final, but I was told 750,000, and then I just don't know the ratio. So I don't know what the percentage or if it's nothing. We've seen nothing like official other than we've been awarded it. So I believe it was 750.
We don't have any parameters of the program or anything like that at this point.
Yeah, we don't know any of the particulars. With that being said, phase 3 is coming up. If we want to apply for phase 3 through the state, we need to get on that and get our letter of intent in, or decide if we're skipping it one more round until we get that. I mean, there's kind of a decision we need to make on whether or not we want to apply for that funding and try to keep working on getting that front facade done, just marching forward while we wait for the earmark. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a conversation we add to next week's agenda and discuss what we want to do. But those grant deadlines are coming up. Letters of intent and stuff need to be sent.
Yeah, we can talk about, my preference, and we've shared this, is always kind of use that phase 3 as our cleanup funds. If we get to this and 750,000 wasn't enough to be able to tap into that phase 3 and know what we need to apply for, that stuff. So it's whatever we feel, whatever you guys feel is the best. I don't have a problem with this.
Are you going to contact?
I mean, I feel like, what did you say?
Have them come,
To our 5G thing.
yes, because they bring the score sheets and
Yeah.
to me, they just keep it on task.
Okay.
Yes.
I can absolutely do that. I hadn't thought about it. I've never done one before, so.
Oh, they're very familiar with them and they just walk you right through it and it's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Painless.
the one thing I do know that you can't discuss, I'm assuming everybody is gonna be able to score.
I think so.
Okay, we can do that, you just can't discuss any kind of price at all.
Right. Right. And I don't think there's any pricing in this, right? This is just qualification thing.
Normally, there's
Which
not.
seems to me like you're playing home and tail on the donkey, you know.
That's just the way it is.
I know.
I'll scan those out and get those out to everybody, but
Thank you.
Don't need to call Region 7.
anybody who wants to be present for that, I don't think there's any issue with that being on the committee to use.
No, and I think if Spring or Jill would like to come and.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Help do that.
I was
I think that's fine.
We're absolutely
going.
Let's
Just say yes,
I'm
with her, whatever.
Part of that, choosing an architect.
Oh,
The architect
yeah.
selection.
That's what I was getting kind of into the.
Yeah.
Sure, sign me up.
So that will be at 6 o'clock next.
Wednesday, next Wednesday. 6 o'clock next Wednesday.
All right, secretary.
Okay.
So
Is that all you have on
Yep.
that? Okay, it looks like next public comment.
Yeah, Arts Council, let's turn it over to the Arts Council. So what all you've been doing, what kind of plans you have and how your vision is to fit in with, and work with landmarks.
We have a lot in the works and now is the best time to build into everything we possibly can be of use with. And on a good, strong arts council, we'll do a lot of things for the community that nobody else has the resources to do or the know-how to do. So it's a good time for us to integrate into everything we can, where we fit, obviously. So right now we are doing, we have different levels of activities we have planned. Everything from something large like the 4th of July to something small like the honors group, the library. It draws in, it's at no cost to anyone except for time. So that's one of those things where we can reach out to the community without tapping any resources and introduce ourselves. So we're doing that every Monday. It's something that anybody can come to. We want to initiate those kind of events first and then tackle the bigger events. We get to know how we're going to integrate and who needs us and what we can do to be useful. Jill? Anything to add?
What time and what is the location of those meetings?
Oh, for the yardists, crocheting and knitting, it's basically like a club. It is Monday nights and it's currently held at the Louis Bennett Library, 5:45 to 6:45, but it varies according to what the library needs us to do. And it may be at some
Gotcha.
point, yeah, we move to a different location, possibly the coffee house or West Hall, whatever, we need to be flexible with it. We don't
Perfect,
currently
thank you.
have a home, so we have the ultimate amount of mobility.
Actually, West
Perfect.
Hall, St. Paul's Church Vestry voted for you to have a home whenever you want a home.
Excellent,
At St. Paul's Church.
thank you. Well, we have a home.
And we are planning, to further that, our committee meetings are the second Tuesday of every month, 6 o'clock at West Hall. So. Everyone and.
Perfect. Do you guys post that on your Facebook page or how do you post that so that people know?
It will all be, everything is on our Facebook page.
When's your next one? I'm sorry.
Will be the second Tuesday in March.
We probably need that on the agenda too. Like we announce all of the others.
I will check your Facebook page, but.
Oh, yeah, I got
Sorry.
it. It's on my calendar.
It's the 12th.
She's gonna throw her pen at me here in a minute. She's gonna hit Brian.
Am I hitting Brian or is he
Sure.
hitting Brian? I mean, I'll hit him if he needs it.
No.
Okay, what is
Well, we're
our,
glad you're here.
yes, very much so.
And it's at West Hall.
What is our next meeting date?
Next Wednesday at 6.
Our regular.
Next Wednesday at 6. That one is.
It would be the second
Thursday.
Thursday in March.
14th, second or third?
The
It's usually
second,
the second.
14th.
At 6.
Now, we have new members and I know we have like a Facebook thing going on, Facebook Messenger. I'm
Yes.
wondering if that works or will continue to work, or if we need email threads and hit reply all, whatever works for communication.
Probably both, but we probably need to try to add if everybody else is everybody on Facebook, can we add them to our group chat? Just, I mean, it's a nice way to have quick access to people, but it's probably beneficial that we do both.
Brian, not. Oh, you are? Oh, I thought you shook your head no. She was laughing at me.
Judy is not.
She's not on.
Yeah,
this
Judy
list.
is not.
Okay, and so the March 14th meeting, you're keeping that at 6 p.m.? Okay,
As well.
anything else?
Just real quickly, and I know this is not on our agenda, but we need to make sure it gets on next agenda. Probably next week's agenda because we don't have a lot of time. Sherry, you said you wanted to apply for the being able to do the facade grant nationally. It's due in a couple of weeks. So I don't know if we can just add that to next week's agenda so that we can vote to move forward with that and take it to the council at your guys' next meeting. We're running out of time. That date's coming up in March.
Probably should vote on it so we can put it on the agenda to be voted on by council. At the,
Yeah, that's, I think we need to have that on, even though it's not our normal meeting, if it's possible, if we can add that to next week's agenda, just so that we can move that forward.
is there a match involved? Yes, usually.
That's the, Paul Braun. I haven't looked at that thing since I wrote it a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I don't remember, to be honest with you, I don't remember. All I remember is we got rejected for it because they said we didn't have a track record of being able to have a successful grant. So I can have the particulars of that grant. I'll have them ready for all of you next week if that works. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just haven't looked at it. I looked at deadlines and was like, oh gosh, it's coming up quickly. So, and we have what we laid out. Now that we've done this, we'll have to go back and rework the grant a bit and talk about what worked, what didn't work, and, how we're planning on moving forward. Because obviously we just sort of made stuff up, what we thought was going to work because we didn't have a working program. So now we're going to have to go rework that narrative a little bit. But I don't recall what the match was on it. I feel like it was very low, though, if there was one.
Really, it doesn't matter because, I still run the grant for the chocolate fest. I still get that approved through council and we do a match on that. But I
Yeah.
do-
All right. Anything else? Congratulations, Becca and Brian. Is there a message?
Congratulations.
Anna said something.
I'm sorry, Anna, what?
Me? I just said congratulations.
Oh, okay.
I still don't have much of a voice. I'm sorry.
Okay, just feel better. Thank you.
Oh, I feel a lot better. It just takes forever to actually sound normal again. So, all right, you guys, thank you. And I will talk to you guys next week. Nate, do you have time tomorrow for a quick chat?
Yep, I'll call you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night. Have a good night. Thank you. All right, bye.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Good meeting.